I think we are live on Facebook. Hi, everyone. It's Candace Krog Goldman, and I am here with my beautiful friends, Harakatsiki and Priscilla Lewis. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
There we are. We are live, I think. Yep. Okay. So, yes, and here comes some people. There you. So, beautiful Joni and Laura here. Here's Kenny, and here's Sharon, and hi, Nina. So we're live. You just never really know with all this technology. I don't know about you ladies, but we have had so many crazy things happen here at our farm just in the last week or so. We had an electrical surge come through to our farm and take out certain things, including the furnace on this side of the house. It was, 30 degrees this morning. We still don't have a furnace. And it doesn't make any sense at all. None of it makes any sense. We've had some other things kind of go wacky. I think the energies coming through the planet, the things that are happening with the Schumann resonance, I think there's supposed to be a coronal hole and some other things happening. I know friends who've been to the hospital with heart palpitations and other things going on. Crazy time, isn't it?
Definitely crazy. A lot of amazing things have happened, as well as strange things in the last couple of weeks.
It's really true. It's really true. And you guys are coming. Are you a little afraid to get on a plane and go across the pond and come here to America? You guys are coming here finally after all this time of waiting.
I know.
Oh my God, I'm so excited, really. For me, it's the first time. I've never been to the US. So I'm really, really looking forward. But luckily, I fly first to London. I'm going to spend a few days with Priscilla there, and we're going to do the long trip together.
That's amazing. That's just amazing. And you guys, now, okay, you East and West Coast friends, sorry about this, but they're only coming to the heartland. They're only coming right here to the center of the country. Yes, known as the flyover country. By a lot of you all. You're not going to Sedona. You're not going to LA. You're not going to New York City. You are coming to
Kansas.
I think that's amazing. And it's your first time, Hara. Now, Scylla, have you been to America before?
Only Florida, and that's only Disney World as well. So I haven't seen much.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just can't wait to see both of you. And we're going to put on an event here together right here in this area. And we have other quantum healers coming in. We have Terrell Just, and we have Diana Adair and Donna McMurtry, and they're all traipsing in from Colorado. That's going to be about a 9-hour drive for them. They're going to show up next week on Thursday. And then we're going to have that wonderful event in Augusta at my wellness studio. And then we're going to get ready to go on another trip up to Missouri. But let's talk a little bit about what we're doing together in Augusta, Kansas next week. Scylla, why don't you explain a little bit about some of the things that we're going to do?
So some of the things that I would like to share with you is mediumship, as well as getting it a bit interactive with regards to mediumship and the definition and how to work psychically. So that is the idea, and getting yourself working and bringing some, exciting stuff you can work with. I don't want to give away too much.
Well, it'll be fun. And there's a reason we talk about the thinning of the veils, during this time of year, during the Halloween. And this is why, there's the Day of the Dead, and we think about our ancestors, and there's all kinds of spooky, scary things about, quote unquote, about Halloween and this time of year, but there's a real reason for it, because communication is easier in a number of ways, and we're going to talk about that. And I liked what you were saying, Scylla, before we ever even got started today, and that is that meetups are interactive, right? So we're looking forward to welcoming some people in the area so that we can not just stand in front of them and present information, but do some activities together, right?
Exactly. A meetup is about exactly that, meeting new people as well as meeting like-minded people. And then, hey, if you learn something new, isn't that amazing?
Well, you'd be surprised how many people here in, you know, the heartland, in the, some people call it the buckle of the Bible Belt, but there's a lot of open-minded people who are interested in exploring in a lot of ways. And Hara, my goodness, you know, I have to mention that leading up to our meeting here today in this Facebook Live, that I listened to the session that you just posted on YouTube, and wow, that was pretty amazing. You said you did a quantum healing session with this woman, and it was extraordinarily powerful, and it was a pretty recent one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was for Monday. And the most amazing thing is that a few days ago, on Saturday, I published another session that Priscilla facilitated for me, and we encountered the exact same race. So that was an incredible synchronicity for me. And it's the race, I didn't know about them. I discovered them through the session I had with Priscilla, like 2 weeks ago. I published the session on Saturday, and then on Monday, the lady comes and she connects with the exact same race.
Just wow. Now you please go ahead, and I know that, and I just watched it, but I don't want to say it incorrectly. You were giving us the name of a race and the name of a planet. I'd not ever heard from them before. So let me just get this straight. In a session with Priscilla, this information came up. And 2 days later, you have a client come in. You've not talked to her about any of this. And the same race of beings comes through to speak with you during this BQH session.
Exactly, yes. And before the client comes, I usually ask my guides for a little message or an advice before my client comes, just to be prepared, yeah? And I hear them saying to me, well, this one is going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be one of the ones you like, you know, the sparkly ones, the sessions with ETs. And I said, okay. I was excited. Then this amazing synchronicity happens. And after the session, I ask them again. I say, why didn't you tell me that it's going to be about the same race? And they say, because you wouldn't believe us anyway. It would be too good to be true.
That's just so amazing. You know, to kind of talk a little bit more too about how this thinning of the veil and how communication works. So in a session that I just had, I don't know, a week or so ago, so, you know, not in the too distant past, well, about 10 days, I think, almost exactly 10 days ago, I had a session with a woman who was in the next time zone, and I got my time zones mixed up, and this, that's just who I am. You know, I mean, it's just who I am, and I don't often keep those things straight. And so I sat right here in this chair with my computer, and I'm all ready to do this session, and I realized I'm an entire hour early, which is fine, you know, which is great. It's like, well, whew, I'm not late, I'm ready for this. But then I started to ask, okay, so why am I here an hour early? Because you all know, right? And I know everything's for a reason. Everything's for a reason. So I'm like, okay, so why am I sitting here? Why am I early? And I have, you know, my pad here and my pen because I'm ready to do a session. And wouldn't you know it, Dolores comes in. Dolores Cannon comes in, and she just starts talking to me. And do you know what I do? I'm getting chills just now, getting ready to tell you all. I've done somewhere close to 1,200 sessions now, or so, in the last 11 and a half years. Never have I sat down and had 2 pages of notes come through to me from Dolores Cannon in that way before a session. And I was astonished. And then, you know, when it came time to have my session, and I'm talking to my person who was in the hospital, by the way. She was in the hospital, and she was on an incredible amount of pain medication, and it was a quite serious life situation for her. And one of the first things she said was, you know, I really feel like Dolores has been with me, and she's been trying to talk to me. And I was like, funny you should say that. And then of course I asked permission, you know, would you like to hear what what I wrote sitting here just now before the session, and she just burst into tears. She absolutely burst into tears because she felt it was confirmation. And then when I read her what I wrote, she said, those are some of the things that those are some of the ideas exactly that she was trying. So the confirmation of that, both, of course, to me and to her. And then we had one of the most powerful sessions I've ever had. I even had to get out of this chair. I got out of this chair and sat on the floor because the energy coming through me during that session was so much that I was kind of swimming, and I'm like, well, I better sit on the floor. And you were saying the same thing too, right? About this session, that the power of the healing was so intense that you were feeling it as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Isn't that part of what thinning of the veil is too, to you? I think so, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last month, since I don't think the Lionsgate things have been amplifying. I think I'm seeing also manifestation happening faster and faster. It's almost incredible to witness. It's unbelievable.
Scylla, I'm actually going to ask you, I mean, this might sound absolutely insane to people, but we've posted a video that you did on our channel that I have not watched yet. Not because I'm not interested. I'm like running around my farm with my phone like this, trying to listen to stuff and get stuff done. I got yours in today, but I know some interesting things happened, and you were showing some reflections on a building. Can you summarize what that whole thing was about, Priscilla?
Well, it seems like there are a lot of people that are seeing some diamond light or images or light that sort of look like they're in the shape of a diamond, and they are reflective on buildings and walls with no source of where they're coming from. So it will be on a wall, but there's like forest behind you, or there's nothing behind you. And I actually went to investigate to try and figure out where this light is coming from. And I've actually had other clients, and Emma Louise as well, send me pictures to say, do you know what this is? Because this keeps showing up on walls in the strangest places, in the strangest of times, and I have no idea what it means. But I think it is a way of communication coming through. And I know the diamond light has been coming through a lot as well, and a lot of people have been talking about it, and it came through my session as well.
And Hara, didn't you just like today on the forum, you were answering some other people's question about, they were like, what the heck's the diamond light? It came into a session. You mentioned Magenta Pixie, who of course has her thumb on a lot of, and a handle on a lot of what's going on the planet. And you posted some information that I scanned very quickly, but it seems to be happening to a lot of us then.
Yeah. It has to do with the ascension process that we are into, and all this. They are basically like ascension codes, and they have been anchoring into the planet. So people who are a little more sensitive, they can see it, they can feel it, they can, it can manifest into their lives in different ways. So yeah, it's pretty amazing, and I did post a lot about it on our forum today, but it's really way too much information to.
Sure. Oh yeah. It was a lot. Absolutely. Are people talking at all about and my own personal experience lately has had, and I've had it for a while, but it's increased the last little bit. When I close my eyes, I have flashing behind my eyelids, and I also have. Here's a new one. This one's new in just the last little bit. I see it's like almost like it's not just a white color, but it's like a sparkle, and it's only in my left eye, and it's only sometimes, but it's right dead center. It's not a sparkle that moves or anything. And that's new, and that's I've only had for a few days, and I'm like, what the heck is that? Is anybody talking about that? Lights like within their?
Yeah. Is it happening at night? Is it happening at night or during the day?
Both. For me, more of the when I close my eyes, sometimes it's like a light show, like a strobe light show, but it doesn't often start to like close my eyes. I'm like, oh, here you are again. Ba, 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 ba. That happens. But the light in my left eye, that is happening when I walk across the house. Like all of a sudden, pew, and then I'm like, okay, hello. And it's just, but it's in my eye, meaning it's not in the room. It's not in this eye. It's just this eye. And I, obviously I have eye things, eye challenges. So I don't, I didn't know where to place that. But now that I'm, talking with you about, yes, and we've seen those funny reflections that we don't know where they're coming from. And you've had amazing, well, we have, right? We've had, when we did our session together at the College of Psychic Studies in London, we had the light column come through you. That was you and I sitting together.
Yeah.
And then you had that incredible rainbow colored light with Emma Louise in the BQH session online. Just amazing. Isn't it so much fun to be like alive now?
Absolutely. It is Disneyland, I think.
Harry Potter,
You know
right?
what? Now that you say lights, I mean, I do see all kinds of sorts of lights and orbs and sparkles and all these things. But lately I have another symptom. I used to have this ringing in the ears, which was a certain frequency, let's put it that way. But now it's changing, and it's very deep. So I can barely hear from the side that it occurs. And it's kind of like a whoosh sound, like, but very, very intense. It's something I've never heard before, and it's happening the last weeks or so. Have you ever had that?
Off and on, but I've actually noticed, and I've seen some other people, wow, I just had the huge cardinal just land in the bush, just right outside, just right now, there's a cardinal right there.
No.
I think that's maybe Dolores telling us something, don't you? Yes, that some people are waking up in the middle of the night and feeling these intense whooshes and a lot of vibrations, particularly the 3 a.m., 4 a.m. get up thing. And just about 3 days ago, I did the get up at 3 a.m. and I closed my eyes, and then I ended up having the most extraordinary series of lucid dreams and a couple of out-of-body experiences. And I haven't had some of those in a while either. And I think, in my opinion, that too is another thinning of the veil. That's us becoming multidimensional. That's us having all of these things available to us to explore, to have fun, to understand, to heal, to make connections, to grow. All of these things are happening, and it's a really intense time.
Yes. So a few things that just came together for me is, the veil's thinning, and hurrah with you hearing the noise. And I'm sure there's many of us that are hearing this noise at the moment. For me, it is about expanding your listening ear, and not your physical ear, your etheric ear. And as you're doing that, the cardinal lands. So it's listen to me, right?
Yeah.
Through the thinning of the veil, what information is coming through, and are you being present enough to hear or listen?
We've already been talking about 20 minutes, and I know none of us have a lot of time today. As a matter of fact, you guys got to pack. I got to get ready for you to come here and all the different things that are happening. But, we have to mention what we're going to be doing. Not only, having this little meetup here in Wichita with our wonderful friends from Colorado, but then we're all getting on the road and we're driving through. Now, I don't even know if you guys have ever heard of the thing that we know here in Kansas called the Flint Hills, but there used to be a vast ocean here. And that's actually one of the things that has happened to me psychically and so deeply, multidimensionally deeply in the last little bit, is exploring in other realms this the salt beds and what used to be here, which was an ocean. So we will get on the road, and for a period of hours when we are driving, you will see extraordinary landscape that really doesn't exist, as far as I know, anywhere else on the planet. We call them the Flint Hills, but they're actually the opposite of hills. And what am I even talking about? Well, it's ground with very few trees. There's beautiful prairie grassland, but as the incredible wind blows through Kansas, Kansas was the name of a Native American tribe, meaning people of the south wind. And that wind has, it keeps the trees from blowing, but it also erodes the ground. And it's the opposite of a mountain. So you know how mountains come up, up through when the plates push the ground up and they rise up from the planet. And this is the exact opposite. So the planet's like this, and the wind comes across this way, and it carves out these hills opposite of mountains. And we're going to be driving through an extraordinarily beautiful part of what I feel is America, and not very appreciated by many, but whatever. I'm happy to live here, and I know my fellow Kansans who love the prairies are also quite smitten with the beauty that's the Flint Hills. But we're going to drive up that way. We're going to go through Kansas City. We're going to end up at a retreat center in Missouri, where our wonderful friend Samantha O'Hearn is putting together what she calls her annual goddess retreat. And I don't even know how many there are. There's like, I don't know, 50, 55, there's 55. I think there's a couple of men coming, maybe just one, maybe just Samantha's husband, but it's a goddess retreat. It's all women. Our friend Pamela Erlin's going to be there. Many other quantum healers are going to be there. People that we've spoken to off and on over the years who do the same kind of work that we do. And we've got so many things planned there. And one of the things that we're going to do is, and that's what I want to end with today, because it's something that I hope to record, that we were going to try to record and then share with the public later. But we're going to do something called the DC Summit. And so here's what we're going to do. We are going to bring Hara and Scylla, and then another beautiful friend of ours, Jenny Thompson, and we're going to have them go into an altered state all at the same time. And we're going to bring in Dolores Cannon through 3 different beings all at the same time and see what happens. And how does that even work, and how is that inspired? Well, it was inspired by something that the quantum healers who supported Dolores Cannon back when she was alive, and back when I was running a forum for her at that time when she was alive, we started doing something called the SC Summit. The subconscious is what Dolores called that greater power that she always contacted for healing in this kind of work. And we decided to try it. We decided, Dolores, we're going to try this thing. And at first she was like, well, I just don't know why you'd want to do that, she said. I remember when we came up with the idea, and it was just like, because we just want to try. She's like, well, if you want to, she said. And the first year we did it, she was Dolores was so amazing, but she, it wasn't her idea. So she was like, she wasn't that interested in it until she heard about it after the fact, because it was a marvelous success. And then the next year, she absolutely participated in it. And then that was the last year that she could have, because that was the last year that it happened. And then we did one more after that, the SC Summit number 3, and we, were able to do that in honor of her, but without her being there. So we called that the SC Summit because, we brought people together in this altered state. So we have the idea of doing that, but focusing on the energy of Dolores Cannon, and we're calling it the DC Summit. And we're going to be doing that together during this goddess event, and we'll see what happens. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you, you guys. This is going to be so great. There's going to be so many wonderful surprises happening at this event, but that just may be the best of all. All right, well, we've been together just about half an hour. what are your friends, your family, your colleagues saying about you all getting on a plane and coming to America? You know, I know that some people think coming here is like coming into the Wild West, you know, and that there'll be saloons and shootouts on every street or something like that. But what does it feel like to you as you prepare to come to our world here? What's that like for you guys?
Oh, me, I'm very excited. I mean, like I said, I've never been to the US before. It's funny, I've shared with a couple of friends I'm coming, and they're like, "What? You're not going to California? You're not going to New York?" No, no, no. I'm actually going directly to a beautiful farm.
Yeah, I even wonder if some people, you know, in Berlin know where Kansas is. I mean, maybe because of the Wizard of Oz. I don't know, but yeah. Now, how about you, Scylla? What's your extended family or friends think about you hopping on a plane and coming to Kansas?
Well, the first thing is you're going into the middle of nowhere, and I guess that's the case, but I'm very much looking forward to it. You know, I will be meeting a lot of people, amazing women that I have been able to work with. And a lot of them I know just through meeting online. And it's going to be an amazing experience to meet every single one of them that will be at this event in person, be able to hug them and actually make this online virtual experience a reality. So I think it's going to be great. You know, it's bringing people together. And, you know, Hara and I were traveling, I don't know, over 7 hours, maybe 10 hours to get to you. And there's people that live in America that will be making the same journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's true. That's true. Our Colorado friends will be in a car just for 9 hours just to get here, just from, and I consider the Denver Boulder area just next door. That's a 9 hour drive from here. And you know, don't forget, we have 2 or 3 days right here at the farm, and y'all, we're gonna spend some time out, you know, on the land here, and it's actually, I just walked the dogs coming in before this show today, and if I get myself going, I'll actually do some mowing so that we can have a pathways to walk. But the creeks are flowing. The grasses are this golden red color. I think it's beautiful here. The maple trees are filled with red leaves. The pear trees, the fruit trees are heavy with fruit right now. We are very excited about both of you showing up, and well, that's it. Everybody, even the animals are, especially Elvis the donkey. I know. Can't wait to meet Elvis.
I swear. Elvis, I'm telling you, can't wait.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And for those of you on Facebook who've been watching live, thank you so much. Oh, there's Carol and Elizabeth and Linda and Phoebe and Pat Forbes, and there's just so many people who popped in to say hi. And I want to thank you all for listening to that. And for those of you who do live here in the Wichita area, or, you know, northern Oklahoma or Arkansas, or anyone who wants to drive in and spend some time with us on Thursday, anyone and everyone is welcome to come to the meetup event in Augusta, Kansas, which will be Thursday, October 24th, from about 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's going to be fun. Nothing real serious, nothing, you know, but I bet it'll be intense and fun. And I'm just looking forward to all of that. And I guess that's all for now. Well, I better get going. My list of things to do is this long. And I think you guys probably have some things you need to get going on yourself. So take it easy, everybody. Thanks again, everyone on Facebook, for watching. I'm going to repost this to YouTube and our channel as well. So bye for now, ladies. See you real soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.